What do you think, Chris?
Monogamy got you down. Every night seeming the same. Try polyamory. It may be for you.
Call your therapist and see if polyamory might be for you.
Operators are standing by. You can call two of them at once. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, I'm MJ.
And I'm Bree.
Welcome to Keeping It Casual,
A sex-positive dating and relationship advice podcast.
Yes, I'm married with 2 kids.
And I'm navigating this crazy dating world.
We're just here to share our drama.
And the wild stories of our listeners.
Your Vegas girls are here for you.
Let's do it.
It's nuts. You should see our virtual sex party setup. We now have 2 separate camera angles going at any given time.
Oh my God.
You know it's great when other people in the sex party are stopping what they're doing and being like, that guy has 2 angles set up. Like,
Yeah. We're like right in the middle of all the stuff, and I hear someone turn their audio on saying, that guy's got 2 camera angles.
oh, hey.
We had an intro ready to bring you in, but please explain the sex party camera angles situation.
It just morphed. It turned in. It started like very like a normal. I think we just had like the laptop camera.
Yeah, we just had the laptop
begin
camera
with.
to begin with.
And then we're like, no. He's like, I think we could make this better. So then we swapped that out for like a DSLR camera, just mounted on a tripod. And then we're like, no, we could do even better. And then it became, we now have the DSLR behind the TV pointed straight at us at the staging area, if you will. And then there's a boom mic holder, but another camera on top. I can send you private message. I can send you a picture, a screenshot of the last party.
Please do. Please do, so we can post it on our Instagram for our listeners.
Oh no, this one you will get in trouble with Instagram.
Oh, okay. Okay, I won't
so
post
you
it.
can see.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
no, I've got one without any of us.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that shows off the
Just-
so there's
just
a,
the setup.
a fine, Tetris-like art to organizing the bed, the camera angles, the suspension rig with the spreader bar, and the camera overhead to get the angle of all of this without like getting any of that in the way.
Good God.
This is amazing.
Wow.
There was one time I was having a virtual happy hour with them, and they were supposed to be at a virtual sex party, but they had their camera off, and I obviously couldn't see anything, but they were describing to me what was happening in every room.
Okay,
Yes.
I need to know, back it up, what is a virtual sex party?
Oh my gosh.
Please, is this just something that has just come about this year because of obvious reasons, or is this just a thing? Okay, so you guys have pivoted. Please just give me a little, let's kick it off with this virtual sex party. What is this like?
Well, since we can't do in-person sex parties anymore, they've taken them online. So we've done some on Zoom, and we've done some on a kind of a proprietary platform that this one sex club was running. It's interesting. It's really weird.
I'm picturing like that Geico commercial where like there's butts in the way and like somebody just like can't focus.
Yeah.
It's like they're like back it up a little bit, dude. It's too much.
A little bit. They'll have like different rooms set up where you can, this room, like there's no funny business allowed, so it's kind of like the lounge. This room is like anything goes. You'll switch between rooms, and all of a sudden you'll hit the button, and like just like 4 dudes with furiously masturbating, just like, oh shit, go screen.
You're like, oh my God, it's like chat roulette almost.
Oh, it is.
And you find a circle jerk. Oh God.
All at once.
Well, yeah. Well, with that, let's bring in the episode, you guys.
Okay. Today we have very special guests who happen to be listeners of Keeping It Casual. We first met Grace at one of our live podcasts, and she stole our hearts away. Today, she and her partner are here to share their relationship and open up about all things polyamory.
Yes, all the sex.
All of the sex. We kicked it off with sex parties. Where can we go from here?
Oh my gosh. Well, but before we get into it, you guys, we got to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Like a Kitten.
Please go to likeakitten.com and use code KEEPERS20 at checkout and get that Back to Basics box.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's going to be available till November 20th. And guess what? We're going to be giving away one for free if you do a rating and review on Apple Podcasts for your girls over here, Keeping It Casual. Okay?
Okay, but more about that later.
Yes. So our very exciting polyamorous lover listeners.
Yes.
We have to know, guys, we have some very juicy sex and relationship and dating questions, and we have some listener submissions too. But first, can please introduce yourself and where you're from?
I'm Grace. I am from the San Francisco Bay Area. I've identified as polyamorous for a while, but only really took a dive into it in the last 3 years or so.
Okay.
I'm Chris. As you can guess, I'm also in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been poly for basically my entire life.
Wow. I feel like there's a lot of things to learn today.
Yes.
Sexpert.
A good old poly expert. Got a whole lot of love to give.
All right. And how long have you guys been in a relationship?
About 10 months, 10, 11 months,
Oh,
12,
yeah.
a year.
Almost a year, not quite a year. So we have known each other for quite a few years.
Very cool.
But we just started dating just a few months before the pandemic hit. So that's been interesting.
Yeah. So we know how you met. How did you begin the discussion of how you wanted your polyamorous relationship to be?
For me, I kind of started asking questions on our first date. I like to just ask the question, so, hey, what does your relationship landscape look like? So I try to get a read on who somebody's partners are, kind of the level of relationship that's going on, and then I try to kind of lead into some more philosophy questions. Like, I always ask, feel out if you have veto power, and I absolutely 100% will never date anybody who has veto power. And if you're not sure what that means if any partner of theirs has the power or the ability to say, hey, I don't want you dating that person, you need to break up with them. If they have that kind of agreement, I'm out. It's a non-starter. I'm not going to do it.
Interesting.
I don't think that's ethical. Even if everyone agrees, I don't like that. Okay. So for some people, they do have that in their relationship, and fine, but definitely not going to date you if that's the case.
Right. And this is one of the things about dating when you're poly is assuming that you both know that you're poly going into the first date. The first date can consist sometimes entirely of discussing what poly looks like to each of you, because the fun thing, I think it's fun, some people find it maddening, is that there are so many different ways to do it. So some people really do need the security of that veto power, and if it works for them, that's great. Yeah, there are other people who do not want to deal with that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can't fault that.
I feel like I would need veto power.
I would too. I was just thinking, I'd be like, no, absolutely not. That bitch is way hot. Forget about it. I'm way too immature for this kind of relationship. So that's why we've invited you here today. We have all the questions. Our listeners have questions, and I think it's very exciting. Not a lot of people talk about it, or not a lot of people understand it, So I think it's going to be great to open up some dialogue on what this means.
If you're ready for our fun getting to know you game, we're going to get into it. And babes, remember, we now have all of our games for grabs up on our Patreon.
Yes, we do. You can get a small monthly fee. You can get one specialty podcast a month, tons of bonus content, including our sexy giveaways. We also have some listener submitted questions we're throwing in this one, too. Are you guys ready?
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right. First question is a listener question, listener submission. What is the difference between swinging and polyamory?
Well, I'll let you take this one.
All right. It's a very fine line, more like shades of gray, I guess. So swingers primarily define themselves by being monogamous, but sort of going to events or finding other couples, and in their head, it's just about sex, largely speaking. Whereas polyamory is a lot more about finding relationships and finding love. And of course, that's great on paper when you describe it like that, but in reality, swingers will start finding that they have feelings for people, or find that they have favorite couples. Polyamorous people, let's not kid ourselves. It's never just about love, or seldom is it just about love. Like, are we out there just going out and being romantic and not having sex? No, we're banging all over the place. Come on.
Yes.
Well, not during the pandemic. Not during the pandemic,
Yes.
But I love the way you've shifted. Fucking it.
They were like, we're online now.
Yeah.
We have 82 cameras in our bedroom, and it's happening. You guys are like the ones.
To our OnlyFans.
Yeah, you guys are the ones to watch. Wait, do you have an OnlyFans?
We don't. We talked about it a lot. I just don't know who would want to watch like a middle-aged lady eating tacos, because that's what it would be for me. That would be my OnlyFans.
Okay, but hold on. I actually found that there are people on OnlyFans who pay for girls to sit on baked cakes. So, I mean, there's a market for you,
Guys,
Grace.
start it up. Let's get that popping tomorrow. We'll slip in the show notes by Wednesday if you guys can make it happen.
It's real messy, like hard shell tacos. with the stuff spilling out. That would be my thing.
No, there's a market for that.
Oh gosh, I'll have to be rich then.
I'm glad you're taking care of our Grace because she definitely became one of our favorites. Didn't you win the costume contest at the live podcast?
I'm actually staring right now at my prizes. It was a Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein candles that we actually featured and used in our last sex party.
That's so awesome. And tell everybody
full circle.
Yeah, tell everybody what you were.
Oh, I was Tina from Bob's Burgers, and
Yeah.
yes, I did the dance, and I think that's what did it.
She did do the dance, and then I passed out in her bed.
Yes. God, Bree. I was one broke girl that night. I was wandering around casinos as one broke girl.
Right. We definitely hit up the late night cafe and ate a lot of fries.
And then you guys got
after that.
McRibs too.
And then we hit up some
we
McDonald's.
did, that's right. We not only went and ate, we went to McDonald's on the way back to the hotel room because
I feel like
we wanted chicken nuggets.
I
So we had to get our chicken
was
nuggets.
gonna say, I remember yelling at you guys that I wanted chicken nuggets. Oh
my God.
But I never ate them.
No. Oh my God. Anyways, yes, it's been an exciting adventure. We're ready for your OnlyFans. But okay, next question. Can you guys share some online resources for connecting couples looking to expand their relationship in this polyamorous world?
This is where you have to be careful because
Okay.
if you're going on this journey as a couple, you're going to get a lot of resistance in the poly community because what a lot of couples do to start out, and it totally makes sense. When I first started out, this was my instinct was let's go out as a couple and find other people. That is real. That gets real murky real fast because a lot of couples will just come across as creepy unicorn hunters where it's like, hey, we're just looking for a unicorn or a real sexy bisexual lady who will play with us but then go away and not have feelings and just enhance our sex life. So I mean my advice is definitely explore, but explore as individuals instead of as a couple right off the bat. Get a feel for that. There are lots of really amazing Facebook groups popping up every day with people from around the country where you can ask questions, and some of them are pretty nice non-judgmental spaces, but people coming aboard saying, hey, we're a couple looking for, don't get well received, and they find that out pretty quickly.
Wow, interesting.
And just to add on to that, first of all, do we need to define what a unicorn is?
Oh,
Oh no, I
unicorn.
talk about
Yeah.
unicorns all
We
the time.
have, but please do.
Yeah.
Throw it out there. Throw it out there, Chris.
Throw it out there.
Yeah, so a unicorn is typically a bisexual woman that will date both people in a couple. And they're called unicorn because it's very rare to find someone who just off the bat will do that. You know, it's kind of like finding this mythical creature who is going to be interested in both the male and the female part of a heterosexual couple.
We actually have a friend who was telling me a few nights ago, she was like, I just want to be a unicorn for a couple. And I was like, just beware of the creepy unicorn hunters,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
If you want to do this, let me help you.
Assume when the listener here was asking for resources, they are talking about dating sites, not like resources about how to open up your relationship into this style.
Which is the first step you should take before you're on a dating site,
Yeah.
is you should do some research and some reading before you throw yourself out there. That's
Well-
a common mistake.
No, you're right. I mean,
right,
both
yeah.
actually. I mean, online, if there's just resource, I love that you're saying, you need to gather some information about, this kind of relationship. But yes, also if there's maybe dating apps or sites. But she said Facebook groups. That's good to know too.
And like, I'm sure there's like local poly groups you can join.
Yeah, if you have the luxury of living in a very highly populated area, in person is going to be your best bet by far. Get to know people. Nothing is even close to as good as that for finding people to date, especially if you're a couple. That said, I know that field has a couples looking for X, single women,
Okay.
single men, other couples feature.
And that's field FEELD, right?
Yes.
We've talked
Yes.
about that one before too. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this was another listener question. I know there are warnings when embarking on this kind of adventure. What are some things to be cautious of, and what are some boundaries to set?
You're opening up an existing relationship that was monogamous to polyamorous. Yes, there absolutely are pitfalls to that you have to look out for.
So one of the biggest ones is one that I think you alluded to in your previous show, which is someone had found someone else they were interested in already.
Yes.
And was like, oh, now I'm interested in this person. Now is the best time to open up my relationship.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. When I heard that question, I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
this is no, very, very bad. Don't do that.
Meet Bill. He wants to be our new boyfriend. Yeah. Like, I don't think so, honey.
Hey, I know we've been monogamous for 20 years. I had this crazy ass idea of polyamory. And by the way, I already found something. That does not go over well. I've actually been in a relationship where I was polyamorous with this guy. We both agreed. He started dating someone else, just didn't tell her about me or that he was polyamorous, and then waited like 6 months and then was like, hey, by the way, didn't go great for anybody in that situation.
No.
So don't open up because you've met someone. If you're thinking about doing it, do it before. Start having the conversations before you've met somebody that you want to date, because that's really not going to go well for you.
Oh, yeah.
One other thing that I'd recommend is do the research into what the poly community considers creepy.
Yes.
Find out what people look askance at, and if you are going to be okay not doing any of those things, like the one penis policy is another big one.
The worst.
Where,
What's
We
the
are
one
not down
penis
with
policy?
OPP. We are not down with OPP.
What's the one penis
What's the one
policy?
penis policy? Yeah, like we're like.
This is right up there with me with veto as things I just won't deal with. That refers to, usually it's a man who says, hey, yes, we're poly. You can date other women as much as you like, but you cannot date another man.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
I like that. Yeah, no, that's.
It's very rooted in misogyny. It's rooted in homophobia. It's all bad, and you cannot convince me that is an okay thing, even if you agree with it. Those types of things definitely you will get pounced on, and not in a good way, and not in the way you're trying to get pounced on.
I feel like if a man said that to me, I'd be like, well, then you can only have dick. If I can only have pussy, you can only have dick. There we go. Boom.
Yeah.
I've actually done that. I've had that conversation in monogamous relationships where the man was like, hey girl, what would be really sexy is if like we had a threesome with another girl, and I'd be like, yeah, that sounds great. After we have a threesome with another guy, guess what's off the table now? No one's having threesomes.
Yeah, we want some sexy fun too.
Exactly. And what's funny is you bring up threesomes because our next listener question is kind of about that.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they said, is it all about threesomes or separate adventures?
Getting back to the other question for 1 second.
Oh,
Okay.
sure. Sorry.
I also wanted to say, for heterosexual couples, guys, be aware that the woman is going to get a lot more of the attention, and you need to be okay with that.
Yes, but also realize that the attention she's getting, while it is more, not all attention is good attention.
That's true.
There's a saying that the odds are good if you're a woman, but the goods are odd. So you will get a lot of dates, you'll get a lot of attention, you'll get a lot of hits on dating sites, but 9 out of 10 of those are just kind of trash, and you don't want that.
Like that as a single girl.
Exactly. When I was monogamous and dating, that was the same. I'm not getting more attention as a polyamorous female than I was as a monogamous female. It's still about the same. 1 out of 10 guys, okay, this guy seems like I can talk to him. So it's not this bountiful, it's not raining dick, quality dick, okay?
It's raining dick. Hallelujah. Oh, what I would give for some dick rain.
Dick rain, yeah. So men do have, a lot of men will go into this thinking, oh, this is going to be great. And it is for the woman, seemingly. But when you're getting thousands of messages and most of them are just disgusting, that's not any better than, a man's getting a few messages, but they're more likely to be better quality people than a messaging.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So for the men out there, don't get discouraged. Believe me, your partner is not ecstatic about the 1,000 creepy messages from men around the world that she's getting. It's not good. You can't quantify that as she's doing better. It's a totally different experience for a woman out there. So yes, men, it's going to seem a little unfair at first until you realize, it took me showing my other partner, look at these messages.
Oh, God.
Do you want to get 1,000 messages like this?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that goes over into the dating world as well.
All right, so is it all about threesomes or separate adventures? I actually know the answer to this, but I want you guys to answer it.
Why not both?
I knew it.
Porque no las dos. It's both. For me, I love both and everything and all the things. So it's more about the people that I encounter and what feels right with those people. versus saying, I want a threesome tonight. Let me go out and find one. Could I do that? Probably. But that's not how it works. It's about, we do things together in the sexual realm. We go out, before all of this, obviously, we would go out to clubs together. We would go out on adventures separately. So it's about all of it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that.
All right.
So what do you do when feeling jealousy? It's a human emotion, and we know polyamorous relationships are not immune to it.
How does that play out?
No, jealousy is a normal thing, and if anyone tells you that they don't get jealous, they're definitely
Lying?
No, they're not lying. I think there are definitely people that's just something they don't feel, but it doesn't mean that you're bad at polyamory if you're not feeling jealous. It's normal. It comes up, and I feel like jealousy is very healthy because it points to places in yourself you need to work on or you need to figure out. And it's what you do with that jealousy that's important. If you're acting out of the jealousy and throwing around, well, I don't want you to see that girl because you like her, that's not cool. But if it's, hey, this is bringing up some things for me, I'm feeling a little jealous, let me dig into that feeling. It is a pathway to kind of find where your cracks are and how you can help heal those cracks. So if I ever feel jealous, I pay very, very close attention to that.
To where it's coming from, right?
Where it's coming from, exactly. So
That's
that it can
very
be addressed. And a good partner is not going to say, well, you're jealous, screw you. You're being bad at polyamory. And I have definitely been with partners that said that.
Well,
a good partner says, let's figure out where this is coming from. Let's see if there's anything I can do to help you work through that.
You're right. I love what you're saying, Grace. Like, even with not polyamorous, but, when you're feeling jealous, like, it's all about, like, kind of figuring out what that's coming from and trying to work through it rather than behaving like a child. I'm jealous and I'm angry and I'm irrational and all those things.
I think jealousy, obviously, it makes you turn inward to realize, like, that's a boundary for me and that's a trigger for me. So why do I feel that way? Oh, because in my last relationship, this person did this to me, which made me think that that's bad all the time. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Comes up for a different way. What about you, Chris?
I'll echo basically everything that Grace said. And I'll also say that jealousy is frequently an inward thing. It's a chance to look inside yourself. And yeah, like you said, it's something that could bring up the past trauma or ways that you've been treated by other partners. But it could also just be indicative of something that you're not receiving. If your partner constantly goes to parties with another partner, but never goes out with you, and you'd like that, that's something that you could legitimately feel jealous about. And that's an opportunity to be like, hey, I'd kind of like to go out with you at some point. It's an opportunity to work on your relationship and strengthen it.
That's awesome. I feel like I'd be like, does she suck your dick better than I do?
All of our petty, I think jealousy just always feels so petty, but the way you guys are talking about is so just mature. We all strive to work on it in that way, but for me, I realize when I'm being jealous about things, for me, it comes into like career, like that's kind of my zone of jealousy, and I'm like, ooh, it just kind of makes me step up my game, I'm like, okay, I want that, or I wish I was more like that, and I'm like, well, then you need to work on that.
My jealousy usually comes with like, oh, she has a designer bag and I don't. I need that. How do I get her job?
Yes. It's definitely a demon we're all battling, no matter what kind of relationship you're in. So
that's a really good point.
Absolutely. Yeah. I also draw a distinction between jealousy and envy.
Envy.
I like that.
That's a very, very, very good distinction.
Yeah, envy is definitely, oh, hey, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
And jealousy is, why don't you do that with me? It's a very much more visceral thing.
You're right. Maybe I don't have jealousy.
I
definitely do.
And sometimes it's just FOMO. It's just straight FOMO.
Fear of
it's
missing
just not that I'm jealous of this other person, but man, I want to be doing that thing.
Wow.
You
guys are so smart.
Lots of trial and error.
I want to have a whole episode on jealousy now, so we'll have to
that could take up an entire episode.
Jealousy versus envy. I like this topic, guys.
We're going to pop back to it.
That's right. Okay. If polyamory was a product to sell, what is your pitch to a new inquisitive couple on the car lot?
Threesomes, foursomes, orgies. No, that's a selling point. That's not the main thing. That's my selling point.
Threesomes, foursomes.
I know. It's so bad. It's not about that. No, it's.
It's a lot about.
That is a selling point.
That's that upgraded package. That's like, let's go straight to what this is about.
Heated leather seat.
Virtual sex parties. There you go. She's selling it.
What do you think, Chris?
Monogamy you down?
Oh, yeah.
Every night seeming the same. Try polyamory. It may be for you.
Oh my god, I think that's the teaser for the episode.
I just knew that. It already popped in my head.
Call your therapist and see if polyamory might be for you.
Well, okay,
Operators are standing by. You can help two of them at once.
Hello, this is Grace.
So speaking I'm trying to like bring this back around. Speaking of therapy, would you say getting a sex positive therapist is really good when you're in a polyamorous relationship?
I think that's essential for everyone to have.
Well, yeah, but let's just say
I am of the mind that everyone should be in therapy. You don't have to go all the time, but we have all that stuff to work out. But I have a very sex positive therapist. I've had to educate her a lot about polyamory.
Okay.
Because she's just not familiar with it. So
more therapists need to be aware of the lifestyle, is what you're saying.
I think that would be helpful, because I think it's something that more people are exploring. It's taking a while, but it's becoming more normalized. Right now, you see portrayals in the media that are still very much in their infancy, where it's a lot of stereotypes. There's a lot of like creepy. There's that creepy couple on Letterkenny that's always trying to lure people into the bathtub.
Or there's like 6 women in the same dress and one dude.
Yeah, or you have Tiger King. So we're not being portrayed in the most, best way yet. But I think, having a sex positive therapist, I think that's very important.
Yeah, and here is one thing that you're going to have to deal with if you are polyamorous and looking for a therapist who has experience in polyamory and especially in kink. If you are a polyamorous person who goes to sex parties, you are going to have that conversation with your therapist. Do you also go to sex parties? Where might I run into you? What do we do if we run into each other at a sex party?
I have no danger of this happening, because my therapist is a very sweet old Jewish lady who did not even know that polyamory was a thing until so I'm not going to be running into her anywhere.
That's awesome.
That is a problem.
I made a point of getting a therapist who was in the poly community and in the kink and BDSM community, and we've got those protocols sorted out.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh!
Y'all stop! My eyes wide shut, mask on.
Right?
that happens. There are parties like that. It's a thing.
So I'll digress a little bit and tell
Part
the
of the
story,
sales
because I love
pitch.
telling this story.
Please.
Yes.
So when I was married, my wife and I were getting our estate planning documents settled, and so we had to get our advanced healthcare directive sorted out. And we were like, well, but what if both of us are in the same accident? Our parents are an entire coast away. There's no way they'll get here in time. We need to add someone else local who can get to us in time and actually make healthcare decisions. Well, what about this other partner of mine? And she was like, yeah, okay, you've been seeing them for 3 years. I think they're pretty solid. And so we tried to tell that to our lawyer, and they were like, okay, sure, you can add these people to your advanced healthcare directive, but who is this? And we were like, oh, they're friends.
Special friends.
Special friends. Because we did not want to get into this with our lawyer. Fast forward 6 months later, and we've done all this, and I'm at a poly event chatting with this woman, and I have face blindness.
Chatting?
So, chatting.
Flirting. Tell the story.
So let me convey the air quotes. Chatting with this woman. So I have face blindness, and so someone comes up to me.
Oh yeah, you do.
Hey, so how's it going? How is, and he gave the name of my wife, and I was like, oh, I have face blindness. Like, I've probably met this person at another event, and I totally don't remember.
Face blindness.
And I'm like, oh, she's great. And he was like, yeah, so you're getting along really well with my wife. That's great to see. And I was like, yeah, she's a really nice woman. He shakes my hand and pulls me in close and whispers into my ear, you don't know who I am, do you?
Oh my god!
And I'm like, no. And then he pulls me in closer and whispers even more into my ear, I'm your lawyer.
Wow. He's like, I will be the best lawyer if things ever go down where you need me to defend you too. Oh my God.
Oh, that's so funny.
Facial
It's a small community. Very small community.
That's insane. I'm more intrigued about the facial blindness. I'm like, what's going on? That's how I feel about names.
Yeah, I have name blindness. I will meet someone and remember their face forever and never remember their names. And he's the opposite. He will remember everybody's names, but he does not remember faces.
Grace, it's not called name blindness. It's called we're dicks. That's what people perceive us as.
No, we are definitely perceived as dicks. You know, like I have to. That's why I have to make up nicknames for people.
But maybe not more than the facial blindness people.
And see, I'm the total freakazoid that's like, once I've met you and I know your birthday forever. I know your star sign. I know your moon sign. I'm like, I've done your whole chart.
She knows your gate code.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm like, what makes you tick in the astrology world?
Oh my God. Oh my God. We were just having so much fun. Yeah. I'm flushed over here.
Great. Yeah.
Oh so my gosh. We could do this all night, but we can't go all night.
We can't.
We're just in monogamous relationships.
Yeah. But we do have another listener question.
Did you know that almost 50% of women almost never reach orgasm through intercourse alone?
Ladies, this is nothing to be ashamed of. All you need is a little help from our friends who are here to help with the orgasm breakthrough.
That's our partners, Like a Kitten, who encourage women to discover, pamper, love, and explore their true self by learning how to take full control when it comes to their own sexual health and wellness. And they do it in a very fun and creative way.
Yep, they are empowering women to own their bodies and to be strong in all aspects of their lives with their one-of-a-kind seasonal sex toy subscription and standalone boxes, plus individual vibrators, and you never pay for shipping in the U.S.
Right now until November 20th, you can get your hands on their fall box, the Back to Basics, which has the back-to-school vibe with sex education in mind. Yeah. We got ours a couple weeks ago and shot a fun video for you all to see on our Instagram.
You know what I'm really loving in the box?
The little book of sex? The old reliable silver bullet?
Of course, all of that, but the Kegel balls. It's kind of easy to forget what an important part of our sexual pleasure comes from our Kegels and how important it is to work them. So I love that they included them in the box because I think it's something a lot of people kind of overlook and maybe wouldn't even think to buy. They're just going to go straight for the vibrator, you know?
And these ones are absolutely beautiful.
Yes,
they are glass and they have beautiful flower detail in them.
Oh my gosh. They're like soft blown glass. They're beautiful.
I love to do my Kegels in the shower. Put the Kegel balls in and take my shower, and then boom, I have done my sexual exercise for the day.
It's like a 20-minute workout. So my
sexercises.
Yeah, I've seen you can like lay on your back and do pelvic thrusts and maybe rolling like a ball. So there's YouTube videos.
There's all the sexercising, guys.
We're actually giving away one of the Back to Basics boxes this month. So to enter, head to Apple Podcasts, drop a rating and review for Keeping It Casual podcast, and the winners announced the last Wednesday in November.
Girls, no matter what you're going through in life, Like a Kitten wants to remind you that pleasure should never be neglected. So head to likeakitten.com today and choose from one of their boxes to fit your mood. The bridal box, the breakup box, maybe even their special birthday zodiac boxes.
Love those.
Drop our code KEEPERS20 for 20% off. There is always a perfect box to keep you satisfied.
Now, let's not forget about their vibrator line to target all the spots. And if that's not enough incentive, this mother-daughter team, yes, you heard right, Natalie and Shay, further their cause of female empowerment by donating a portion of all the Like a Kitten sales to charities and causes benefiting women and girls.
It's a movement, and become a part of that movement. And if you don't want to buy something special for yourself right now, share something special with your favorite kitten in your life. Head to likeakitten.com, use code KEEPERS20 at checkout.
Now back to the show.
Is there a hierarchy in partners?
That's kind of a controversial. That's a controversial statement in the poly community, and people are pretty split. I personally do not practice hierarchical. God, I can never
Hierarchical.
say it. Hierarchical.
That's how it looks. That's how it's spelled.
Worcestershire
Hierarchy.
sauce.
How much?
Chef. Yeah, I I don't practice it because my philosophy, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in
first wife, second wife.
Right. That just never sat well with me. But there are a lot of people that do practice that. And I think as long as everyone is walking into their relationship understanding the dynamic that's already there, where they fit into that and they agree to it, I think that that's okay.
I like that. I feel like I could walk into a relationship as like third wife if that was their structure, but if I was in a relationship and we were like gonna open it up and it was gonna be like first wife, second wife, I'll be like, I'm always first wife, bitch.
Bree would be like your nightmare partner to bring into your relationship. You know that already?
No. I wouldn't be the nightmare partner to bring into it. I'd be the nightmare
to run it.
Yeah. I'd be the one that's like, we're making the schedule now.
I look at it like morning shows. I've done morning shows. I've been the main mic, and I was like, I'm only going back if I'm the unicorn mic. I'm just like, you guys do all the work, and I'm just gonna like pop in, like laugh. Because being the main one is tough. So it's not easy to run a relationship. So I like that you guys are like, you know what? We're in relationship with other people. So how would you kind of explain the dynamic if you were to meet somebody new?
Like if you're trying to date MJ.
Yes, bring it on. I'm a married woman. I need a fantasy really quick.
Well, am I trying to date MJ or is Chris trying to date MJ?
I don't know.
So that's the
or
first
are we both
thing.
trying to date MJ?
Right.
Yes, both of you.
Let's do a little role playing here, okay?
So, I mean, let's say, you and I we're hanging out in Vegas and we like grab some fries at a late night diner.
Yeah, at McDonald's, totally.
We're getting McRibs. And this is something that does happen and has happened for us. It's more we trust each other's judgment about who we're dating on the outside, and there are people that are kind of questionable, or we definitely tease each other about who we're dating.
Right.
Very good-naturedly, of course. Yeah, I'm not going to go too far into that because one of us has definitely had some more entertaining choices than the other. Grass. So, I mean, what would happen is, we're very upfront with each other. We always kind of know what's going on in each other's lives, not because it's a rule. If you start talking to someone, you have to tell me. Or if you start, crushing on someone, we actually like to tell each other what's happening in our lives. It's really fun, and not just like in a sexy kinky way, but if I met a really cool person that I wanted to be friends with, I would be like, oh my god, Chris, I met this really cool girl, and like we both like murder podcasts and champagne and mimosas, and we're like you're like gonna go hang out,
and her name is Bree.
I know, it's like, wait, I thought you were picking me Fine.
I'll pick both of you up.
You are. You managed to. She just managed to swoop Bree in there.
See how I did that?
Murder podcast. Damn, she's good.
You know what's funny is I gotta tell this story. Is one night Grace and Chris drunk FaceTimed me.
Yes.
And they were asking me if I was having sex. They were like, "Are you getting dick right now?" And I was like, "What are you guys talking about? No. I'm sitting here. What are you fucking what?" And then Grace, being the lovely person she is, she was like, "If you want to see my boyfriend's dick, you can." And I was like, "I kind of do." No.
Chris is like, I'm very giving and I'm here for all
No,
the
but he did wear
ladies.
mesh underwear for me. So that was that.
I remember that night. It was a fun night.
That was a fun night.
I may or may not be wearing it right now.
You wore, I think, a Lisa Frank shirt as well.
Oh, that night.
Did it have a unicorn or like a howling wolf on it?
Oh, it's a tiger.
It's a tiger.
Tiger, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I knew. I was like, maybe with a cute wolf on a cloud with a heart or something.
I actually have a screenshot of that night.
Wow.
Was I laughing?
Everybody was wearing a leopard Lisa Frank shirt. We're all laughing.
If we can get a picture of that screenshot for Instagram, if it's Instagram appropriate,
it is. That one is Instagram friendly.
Send it our way. It'll be listed in the show. All right.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of safe for work Instagram photos.
I know.
We've been quarantined for most of our relationship, so it was a little bit of a struggle finding photos that you guys could use because we didn't go outside very often this whole time, and we 3 months into our relationship, quarantine started. So
Chris is like, I don't need pants. I have mesh undies and Lisa Frank tees.
Pants are just a joke.
Yeah.
We don't believe in pants.
I'm pretty sure you weren't wearing pants that night either.
No, I don't. If I don't have to be wearing pants, I'm not going to be wearing pants.
No
I'm not wearing
pants
pants
party.
right now.
No. Neither is Bree.
I'm in a dress.
It's
but
Casual Friday.
It is
That's
casual.
what we were bitching about before you called.
Oh my god, I forgot the question. Hi, Mark. What do we do? Oh, okay, my god.
Well, I think we're done with that. I think we got it. We finished that already.
Yeah. All right, listen, guys.
Moving on.
We have one more question, and then we have a couple little rapid fires, and we're going to send you off into some seriously hot lovemaking because we know that's what you're up to.
You're not wrong.
Have it for all of us out there dreaming of this lifestyle that we can't handle. Okay, one of our episode questions that's come up a few times. How do you guys feel about the how many people have you slept with question? Like, do you ask it or how do you respond to it?
I throw it in the fire.
I can't even answer the question, first of all. I don't know.
Totally.
I always say more than Mother Teresa, less than Madonna. That's my answer, because I don't know.
Oh.
Do we know how many people Madonna slept with, though? Because
That's what I was thinking.
I was like, in my head, I'm like, maybe that's
Maybe a
not
slow
true.
year.
I'm
I
like,
don't know.
less than Samantha Jones?
There, I think that's a better one. I don't like the question at all because it's generally speaking asked by
Men.
a cisgendered heterosexual male as a way to kind of test your purity or see if you used goods or not. I've never had anyone ask me that question in good faith.
Yeah,
I agree.
So it's a red flag to me when someone asks the question.
Or
I don't care what someone else's number is.
Or they throw out like 5? Has it been more than 5? You're like, don't ask me any more questions, please.
We're done. Oh, yeah.
Chris, how do you feel about this? How many people have you slept with question?
I don't think this is something that you're asked in bad faith if you're asked it.
As a guy, usually it's asked out of curiosity, and I don't think there's any bad faith. Now, I will say that one reason to ask it is just for a sense of scale, because if the person that I'm about to sleep with has not actually slept with anyone else, that is good information to know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I need to know that so I know what to expect and how to behave with that person, sort of like take it a little bit slower. And there has actually been one instance in the last couple of years where that was the case, where like the person had not actually slept with anyone before. And I was like, oh, okay, we're going to do this a little bit differently. If it's under 5, I don't especially care either. It's just a matter of like, how much experience do you have, and am I going to have to like...
You don't want to hurt somebody.
Maybe don't slip in the back door so soon.
Maybe leave the floggers on the wall.
You're like,
that
it's your first time. Which one do you want to use? Yeah. Just open up like...
Just pick your favorite toy in this corner, and you can just...
Like a Kitten just sends all the things, and they're like, you're like, here's all my Like a Kitten vibrators and boxes.
God.
Pick something. Keepers 20 at checkout.
Did you throw in Keepers 20?
Nice.
I did.
Nice.
Damn.
Very
Solid.
It's good.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a matter of how much to pay attention and sort of check in with the other person. Something that's important to know in general.
Okay. All right.
At my age, the chances of me running across a virgin are pretty non-existent.
I know.
Unless it's just one of those cases of a guy that just, didn't. But yeah, if it's someone's very first time, that is something I'd like to know, but I don't necessarily need to know what number I
No.
Yeah. Yeah, we can all agree.
I don't know
it's
if
kind
I'd
of a
want to be somebody's
juvenile
first
question.
time.
No.
I have not. That is not. I did that a lot when I was in college.
Oh.
My nickname in college was the Diverginator.
Oh.
In fact,
Not the Divergenizer, the Diverginator. Okay.
that is not something I think I would want to do anymore.
I
And that
feel
would-
like I'm way too freaky to diverginate somebody. I'd be like, oh, you don't like to be choked? Wait, oh, shit.
And I'm like, you can't handle this.
You
I
can't
put way
handle
too much experience into my aggressive nature. Can't handle it.
So I will tell you a story. The man was not a virgin, but he was younger than me.
Okay.
Not terribly experienced. And I requested a specific sexual act, which to me did, just seemed kind of a normal thing. And he had never done it, and he was just completely, his eyes went really wide. And he's like, "You want me to do what?"
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Wait, do
I requested a facial from this gentleman.
Yeah.
Get it?
And he stopped and he said, I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. You want me to what? I was like, yeah, and I described what I would like him to do, and he was like, are you certain that's, are you, yes, I would very much like that. I'm not, and I was like,
Is this spring break in London?
yeah, I was like, have you never done that? He's like, oh, no, I've never done that to a lady before. I was like, well, now's your chance. Like, let's.
You fucked a Night of the Round Table.
It was more a Harry Potter than.
Actually, I did know that as well. Yeah. You know, I'm going to layer on this, and then we're going to get into a rapid fire. But there was one time I was talking to this guy, and I was like, okay, well, what are you into? Blah, 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 whatever. And he was just like, oh, I've only had sex with like 2 other girls. And I was like, it was when I was in like a deep hoe phase, and I was like, this is not going to work for me. I just knew immediately. And he was like, but I've always wanted to try cunnilingus. And I was like,
Leave all the dictionary words out of any kind of
the hoe in me
talk.
said no.
First of all, ew.
I was like, ew, David.
David.
Oh my god.
Okay, so now we have a fun, rapid fire, sexy rapid fire.
Wait, before we get into the rapid fire, I just want to ask, we've asked you a lot of rando questions and things that we think are important, but is there anything that you would like to highlight about your relationship, what this has meant or how this has changed you, your lifestyle?
I mean, this is the monogamous, polyamorous, whatever. This is the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. And it's because we communicate so well, and we also just care very deeply for the health and happiness of the other person. You know, his happiness is very, very important to me. It's right up there with my own happiness. So if there's something that we don't agree on or something that he wants that I'm having trouble with, I'm invested in really examining that and making sure that if it's truly something I can't offer, and that has not been the case so far. You know, I want him to be happy, and I think that's something that I've not really experienced in my other relationships. Well, I've had a lot of bad relationship experience, but this has really pushed me in a lot of ways to grow and to kind of heal from a lot of toxic things that I've been through, because there is so much communication going on all the time.
And also realizing that you don't have to be everything for your partner. No. Sometimes you want them to be like this and that and this and that. It's like, that's why you have some friends for this and some friends for this. And you're, different people in your life to fill all those shoes. And sometimes we put too much on our partner.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that. And honestly, I can say, I'm going to speak for the awesomeness of Chris. I have seen Grace at her lowest as she's seen me at my lowest. And it's like night and day almost, like from where she was about this time last year.
Just
about this time last year to you guys like hitting it off and dating. I was just like, oh, I mean, I was going around like, y'all are gonna just like fall in love and blah 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 blah, and she was just like, shut up, whatever.
Aww, I love it. What about you, Chris? We're melting over here.
Yeah.
Dry your tears and speak on it.
Yeah, we're kind of snuggling over here.
Aww. I told you we were warming you up for hot sex, okay?
Yeah, right. Good job. Thank you. Similarly, I've had a few not great relationships in the past, and having the genuine faith that Grace wants me to be happy and knowing that I want her to be happy has really done a lot to heal that, and our communication has really been fantastic. And this whole pandemic, this has been weird for poly people.
Yep.
There are a bunch of memes floating around at the beginning being like, oh, no, all you poly people are going to be mono, huh? And definitely there have been a lot of circumstances where, like, you've sort of had to choose who your pod is. I had a couple of other partners at the beginning who I really haven't seen at all, basically. Where we're just going to sort of figure out where that lies when it's safe to go outside again. But it has also been fantastic for bringing us close together. You know, we've alluded a couple of times already to the fact that we were only dating for a couple of months when the pandemic hit, and getting to know each other better, possibly not in the best circumstances imaginable, has been really great. And it's been just incredible seeing how compatible we are and how we sort of take things in the same direction, both in terms of going above and beyond for like sex party decor, as well as for just general relationship outlook and taking care of each other.
I think that's the one good thing out of the pandemic, is it's bringing people, your essential people, closer together.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of realize you're kind of weeding out the fat. You're like, well, I haven't talked to this person in this long, and I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Or you know, they haven't even reached out to me, or vice versa. So it's you know, it's nice to see just the bond that it's brought. Anything good out of all of this, you know? Oh, we're all snuggled up in bed with you guys.
Yeah.
That's part of what we wanted this episode to be. We wanted to get to know you guys and just kind of what a relationship like this is like. And let's wrap this up with some fun, sexy rapid fires. We got 3 of them for you.
Got 3. Okay. So, first one.
This is a fun one.
Celebrity threesome. Pick a guy and a girl to join you. Grace, you gotta pick the girl. Chris, you pick the guy.
Ooh, this is a tough one. Oh, God, there's so many.
I think Bree and I both have to pick a girl as well.
Okay.
It's easy for us to pick dudes, but it's fun like that. I'm going to pick...
It's actually would be harder for me to pick a guy.
I think it would be harder for me to pick a guy than a girl, too.
Yeah.
True. I'm going to pick Alexis.
I'm gonna pick.
So into the Schitt's Creek right now.
Yes, I'm feeling it. Right now, I've been feeling Christina Hendricks a lot.
Good, solid choice.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with Ruby Rose.
Oh, good one.
Orange is the New Black.
Oh God, she's so hot. All right, Chris, pick your
Ruby
dude.
Rose is hot.
Okay, so here is where I...
Oh yeah, you have facial blindness.
Same to me. Dudes look the same to me. Women look the same to me on TV. It's like, under all that makeup, they could be like 3 lizards standing on top of each other. Like, I don't know.
How do you remember them? By their voice? Like a voice or a movie where the character just drew you in. You're like, he's a fucking stud. And I envy him. I'm not jealous, but I'm envious.
It's all by the character portrayal. Like, I have legit been like, wait, that was that person? I didn't know that. Like... It's great for suspension of disbelief. I get into every movie because I totally believe they are that character, because I've never seen them before.
Okay, pick a male comic book character.
Do cartoons count?
Like, I'm just gonna go with, what male actors do people usually think are sexy? Is George Clooney still a thing? Like, he's the first one that comes to mind.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
No, that's just a self-insert.
Wait, was he Gaston in Beauty and the Beast? He was hot. Whoever that guy is. I'm gonna pick him for my other threesome.
I don't know who that is either.
We'll have to Google.
That's why I said, Chris, like, pick your favorite male superhero. Like, do that. Like,
Superhero.
let's just go there.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get Thanos up in here with us? What do you
Oh, yeah. He seems like a freak. Yeah.
All right.
Chris is like Thanos snap hits different in the bedroom.
This is supposed to be rapid fire.
You're gonna have to go Bob. Sorry. You're supposed to have to go Bob for Bob's Burgers.
I love you guys, but you're both terrible.
Oh God. Okay.
Chris, you get back to us on that one, all right? Comment on our Instagram when we post the show notes we finally thought of. When it comes to foreplay, do you give first or wait to receive?
Silence.
I always give.
Yeah. I usually don't get a chance to give first because he just gets right in there. So.
Oh.
Yeah. I have to catch him unawares if I want to go first.
A little clapping going on there.
Giving is a lot of fun.
I agree.
Yeah. It is.
It sure is. Then you get to sit back and reap all the benefits.
You know, I
Be a little selfish in ways if you look at it like that. But,
I know we're in rapid fire, but I do want to side note. They both listened to our sex personality type episode.
Oh!
And they couldn't pick a sex personality type.
They're truly polyamorous people. I'm polyamorous about ice cream, about everything. Like, I cannot ever just pick one thing.
I love it. Everybody be a little more like these guys, okay?
And
where you can.
Final rapid fire. How does one let their kink out without freaking out a partner?
Oh.
Don't choke a guy
Not
who
so
says he's never done cunnilingus.
Beware of English accents.
Oh, give me a facial, please.
This is one of those things where we all have a list of the ways it doesn't work.
That's
Don't
true.
just sneak that finger in her asshole. Guys, don't do it.
God, don't do it.
Oh man.
Don't sneak anything into anything. I mean, for me, I don't do anything like that without having a discussion about it first.
It's like, okay, so if I'm embarrassed about my kink, because
you want to pee on people.
yeah, sure.
She doesn't, but I'm just saying.
I mean,
She just looked at me like, what?
It's hard to shock me these days.
yeah, me too. Like
A scenario if somebody wants to say, I want to do a golden shower. You know, like how does one let a kink out without freaking out their partner? You just want to introduce some kink.
Yeah.
You guys seem comfortable in your sexuality.
Oh, gosh.
So I'll tell you what I did in high school and college. Okay. This is a little new. You know those purity tests? Those things that you used to do when you were like 16 where you would get a score, you know, it'd be like basically like this questionnaire, like, have you ever had sex in a car? Have you ever had sex in a car moving greater than 20 miles per hour?
Yeah.
Have you ever had sex in a truck? Have you ever tried cunnilingus?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
cunnilingus.
Out on the show. The word is out.
So that particular one, because I was taking a test like this, and I was like, no, I don't know what that means. Like, if I don't know what it means, I've clearly never done it. And she was like, oral sex? I was like, oh, yeah, of course, yeah, I have that. So I would do that with my partner, and we would be like, no, yes, no, yes, no. Ooh, that sounds fun.
He played sexy getting to know you games in high school. You're above the curve.
He's the BDSM quiz. Like he created it basically.
Yes. I will actually ask people for their BDSM quiz results.
Yeah.
Sometime.
We used to ask
swap
all our guests for it.
screenshots.
We did. We used to ask all of our guests that, and then a lot of our guests were like,
I'm not there yet.
I'll send you. Bree, you've probably seen mine.
you and I have shared ours because
We have shared ours.
brats unite.
That's
Oh,
right.
I'm the switch. I am a switch.
Oh.
That's one of our most popular episodes, maybe because of the title. It says "Sex Talk with a Brat and a Switch." That's where we discovered
Yes,
our BDSM
that was a great
styles.
episode.
Thank you. It was fun.
Thank you.
2 years ago.
In the words of Lizzo, I took that test, and I am 100% that switch.
Yes, and you have a cup to prove it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. We're before we go to, thank you so much, guys. Chris and Bree was telling us about your incredible story time of erotic fiction with your babes, and we are actually having a fun specialty podcast every month, and we're doing a sexy story this month. So for our listeners who love sexy stories, can you give some of your favorites to get them going?
Kissing the coronavirus.
Kissing the coronavirus, absolutely.
Oh my God.
This started because Grace here found out I had never read Flowers in the Attic.
There's a movie. Why are you people reading?
That's not sexy story time.
That's my answer for everything.
It's not sexy. It is.
No.
It's more like I want to share this with you because I also have this. I think you might call it a kink. I like to make people have very uncomfortable boners. That's one of the things I like to do. I am a burlesque dancer in the San Francisco Bay Area. That's kind of my calling card. Is I do acts that give people confused boners. Like you're laughing, but wait, I'm also turned on.
Oh, like the corgi dance?
Like the corgi strip tease that I did. Yes, it's you're like, this is adorable and hilarious. Oh, but
Interesting.
But it's also sexy.
Very Tina Felcher.
I am the adult Tina grown up, like very much so. Super into butts.
Grace and I will text about baseball butts just randomly.
Yes, we will.
Have you ever written erotic friend fiction, though?
I'm working on one right now, actually, because it was so much fun having Chris read the coronavirus story. And we had a request from his other partner to write some slash fiction featuring Chris. So I'm now writing a Slash from Guns N' Roses and Chris fan fiction.
And they're
erotic
banging?
story right now. Yeah, absolutely. So that's something I'm actively working on.
I'm going to say this right now. When you finish that novel, we would love for you to read it to our listeners, and we'll put it up as a bonus Patreon.
Yes.
So,
I like that idea.
sign up now, guys.
Yeah.
A little guest podcast as well. I'll produce it for you. Or maybe Chris can produce it. He seems pretty technical over it.
Yeah, we've been talking about actually kind of doing a podcast of our own where
Yes.
so many people loved his reading of the coronavirus. I actually put it on one of my Facebook groups as a bad erotica Facebook group where people intentionally write that, and I posted it and people are like, he needs to do this all the time.
We support this mission.
Yes, we do. Can you actually read her other book, Penetrated by the President's Tweets?
Absolutely. Yes.
The Ferret Lady? Here's another book.
Ferret Lady.
Ferret Lady, yes.
Oh my God. Ruth disturbed us with this erotic.
What do you think gave them this book?
Now all I can think of is average sized pythons.
On that note,
Oh my God.
we need to wrap.
We need to wrap this up. Thank you so much. If people want to be friends with Grace and Chris or find you online, where can they find you?
It's Tanqueray von Grafenberg
Oh.
on Instagram.
Oh, yes, the Duchess. Find her on IG and her beautiful burlesque photos.
So my more kink-focused Instagram is Kit Canoodle. KitCanoodle.
Oh.
And the good news about following Chris is he won't remember what you look like anyway.
That's right.
Exactly. I barely remember what I look like.
Are you on Instagram?
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
You guys were delicious.
You were delicious.
It
and
was
you
a pleasure.
answered questions in such a way that I think our listeners are going to love it. And until next time,
Until next time.
bye.
Want to be featured on the show? Email us feedback at keepingitcasualpodcast.com.
Want to win cool stuff? Just rate and review us on Apple Podcasts to get into our monthly giveaways.
Last Wednesday of every month. And for more specialty podcasts and bonus content, join us on patreon.com/keepingitcasualpodcast.
Show you're a keeper on Facebook. You can like the page and join our group.
Tweet at us at KICPod or Instagram at keepingitcasualpodcast.
You can find me anywhere at MJ Radio Diva.
And I'm everywhere at Breemixed, BREEMIXED.
And for your one-stop shop, keepingitcasualpodcast.com. Bye.